We need to eat the baby.
I have no respect for women who voted for Trump. Okay, I think so poorly of them, and the reason why.
Hey, welcome back to Idaho News. It's 21 degrees this morning, and it looks like Pocatello School catches fire. This is by Rachel Cox-Rosen from KPVI. Oh, this is a short story. Pocatello Police, there was a fire at a local school last night. This is according to Pocatello Police spokesman Lieutenant Ian Nelson. Nelson says police responded to a call for an assist at around 9:30 p.m. for a fire at Lincoln Early Childhood Center at 330 Oakwood Drive. Officers say the fire was burning at an outbuilding of the school. Nelson says the Pocatello Fire Department is primarily handling the investigation. No word on the Lawmaker pushing red flag gun removal proposal by Savannah Pace staff writer from the Idaho State Journal. So I am for this, and I'm glad somebody's doing something. The frequency of mass shootings and the growing concern about gun-related violence and suicides brought Utah Representative Stephen Handy to northern Utah recently to visit a concerned resident about balancing constitutional rights with the need to take preventative action. The Layton lawmaker was invited to Cache Valley United for Change, a community group, and discussed in depth a bill that he sponsors called the Extreme Risk Protective Order Act. ERPOs, or red flag laws, have been around for over 20 years, and while they exist in 17 states illegally, in my opinion, Utah has yet to debate the bill on the floor. The bill would allow a judge to order the temporary removal of firearms from a person from whom judge determines poses a threat to themselves or others. The bill tends to be a hard conversation for some lawmakers and residents alike. We are going to have a conversation that some of you will like and some of you will hate, Handy said as he welcomed the growing crowd. And that is okay because it is America and we can have a nice conversation. While many other proposed gun control laws are quite controversial, Handy said this legislation is a more bipartisan approach to an overwhelming problem. Now in today's politics, bipartisan, it depends on how much you compromise, man. Shall not infringe. This legislation has been debated in many states who have not yet adopted the idea of empowering courts to take away guns. Last year, when Handy brought this bill before the Utah State House of Representatives for the second time, the bill didn't get a hearing. Carrie Butler, the policy director for Action Utah, said that while this is a hard and complicated process to make sure people are protected and rights aren't being stepped on, a recent poll showed bipartisan public support for this bill at 68%. That's a lot. People have had it and they are now willing to make it known in ways they haven't before, Butler said. Handy, motivated by the support and the need to do something to save lives, is prepared to reintroduce his red flag bill for the third time. Wait a minute. So he's introducing a red flag bill, not something to... Okay. He made sure to clarify that this bill gives family members concerned about the safety of their loved ones or themselves the opportunity to present their concerns before a judge. The judge can order the gun confiscation for up to one. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, I thought this was a bill that was going to get rid of red flags. What an idiot. 85% of firearm deaths in Utah are from suicide, and recently Utah was reported to have the fastest growing rate of gun sales in the whole nation according to a study using FBI background check data. Handy said he gets asked all the time about how he could dare bring up a bill like this one as a Republican, and he knows it's not a perfect solution, but he needs to try and do something. No, you don't. You don't need to try. You don't need to do anything. You're just getting ready for your next election. Handy said he gets asked all the time about how he could dare bring up a bill like this one as a Republican. Oh, yeah, I read that one. It has been very disheartening because I feel that it is common sense that we should have a public conversation about this, Handy said. The only conversation, Mr. Handy, is you need to hold the Constitution up and maybe read that to your constituents. This is just an effort to let air out of the tire or defuse the situation before it costs a life, he said. Your red flag laws are costing lives. Handy emphasized the need for conversations like this one to continue so the bill can be refined as solutions can be found. I think one of the big takeaways from this meeting is that we're just sitting here after the meeting talking about the issue side by side, said Suzanne Julis, a self-proclaimed dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, as she pointed to Nathaniel Wright, to her right, a Republican. I came here just over an hour and went from having little to no knowledge on this issue to now engaging in important conversations, Wright said. You had no knowledge whatsoever about the Second Amendment. I don't believe you. Hey, I know that last story wasn't Idaho, but it's close to Idaho, so it will affect. When states pass laws around the state, it usually affects it somehow. It motivates other legislators or bolden them to take away the Second Amendment. Anyways, okay, so it looks like in Idaho Falls, students raised money for the Red Cross to support Hurricane Dorian relief efforts. 4th and 5th graders at All Tourist International Academy in Idaho Falls presented the Red Cross of Greater Idaho with a check to support Hurricane Dorian relief efforts. They decided to research charities and chose who they wanted to raise money for. I'm just so proud they understand the importance of giving back, said Michelle Ball, the executive director of All Tourist International Academy. As part of school's economics unit, the teachers wanted to arrange a project for the students to give back to the local community. The students did some research to determine which charity they wanted to raise funds for and decided they wanted to help the global community. The students organized a school carnival that raised money to help those affected by the devastating Hurricane Dorian. The students planned the carnival themselves and chose the Red Cross as the recipient of the proceeds. I am so incredibly proud of how they were able to organize and execute this carnival. It was so student-driven and so student-ran. It was incredible, but they were doing it for a purpose, said Ball. Around 130 students took part in the project, Ball said. She said each class borrowed up to $100 to put the carnival together, and the event raised over $4,000. So that's cool. Alright, so like, subscribe, share, donate, comment, and make sure to head over to bitshoot.com for exclusive stories over there. So I'll see you guys in the next